Good morning, Vonda. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited that you finally have the guest you've been working really hard to get to join us.
I don't know if he knows it,
Oh,
but this has been a couple of years
it has,
because
Mark.
Mark
Oh my
Frye
gosh.
from Creative Occasions, Flowers and Events. Mark Frye, first of all, thanks for showing up and thanks for being here. We're so
Welcome.
excited.
Of
Yes.
course. Thanks for having me.
Before we really deep dive into getting to know you, I will go back and find the very first email I sent, but I know it was probably 2 years ago because I was working on one of our newsletters and I sent this, hey, we want to feature you in our newsletter and do a podcast, blah, 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 blah.
And I said, did he respond?
Nope,
No, he didn't even
nope,
respond
nope.
to
And I
me.
was like,
Oh
Vonda,
no.
you email him. He probably doesn't even know who I am. You email him. You email
Spam.
him.
It went right to spam.
I have no doubt it went to spam, or I don't know. I probably sent it to your work where you're not the only one that gets it, a manager, like
Info
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Who knows? I'm
I'm
sure it
sure
was.
that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't until Cami Martin, our web person, had talked to you and she said she brought it up and you were like, what? Of course I would be on the anyway. So thank you for answering my next email.
That's great.
We're very excited you're here to come talk
Here.
to us today.
I'm excited here.
So you are your store is in Vinton, Virginia?
That's correct. Not
Is
to be confused with Vinton, Iowa.
okay. Okay. Are you by Roanoke?
Yes.
Okay.
We really are like a bedroom community for
Okay.
Roanoke. You can
Okay.
drive from one to the other and not realize that you've changed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so how long have you been in business?
I've been in business 30 and a half years.
Wow. And
But
have
who's counting?
you just born and raised in this industry, or
Oh,
I got to hear the backstory. Are you a Tim Farrell? You were an accountant and then you turned into a florist, or what's?
no, I was a speech pathologist that
Oh
turned
my gosh,
into a
that's just as
florist.
random.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
um, yeah, I actually worked at a flower shop in high school
Okay.
and scrub buckets, swept the floors,
All the
did all
things.
those beautiful, glamorous parts of the industry.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And I was watching the owner one day and I said, I'm interested in that. I might like to try it. And so she showed me how to put together at that time, because I was in high school, so it's been a minute, how to put together a three carnation bud vase hospital, right? So that was my first design. I didn't get to do a lot of them, so I'm sure that means I didn't do it well. Then I went to college. I have 2 degrees in speech pathology, actually, and worked in that
Wow.
field for about 5 years. Really quick burnout in that field. I love
Yes.
the field, but quick
Yes.
burnout. So
Yes.
then I reached out to a friend at church and I said, hey, I took a year's leave of absence from my job as a speech pathologist. I'm looking for some work. And he goes, oh, I think we need somebody in our office. So at that point, I went to work for Georgia Pacific and I sold lumber and plywood for 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Which
so it was,
really prepared you for floral design.
oh, yeah, kind of.
Mechanics. It's about mechanics.
Natural products,
Yeah.
so. And interestingly, lumber and plywood are commodities. They follow the commodities market.
Yeah.
Flowers are a commodity that follows the commodities market, supply and demand. All that while I was doing flowers on the side for friends for a shower or for church on a Sunday or something. And so I got approached by this family in our church, and they said, we'd like for you to do our son and future daughter in law's wedding. And I said, you've lost your mind because I've never done
Right.
a wedding.
Right. Right.
And really, that was the beginning. That was in 1995. So after that first wedding, just from word of mouth, I did 5 other weddings before the end of that year. And then
While
in
you still
January,
had your other job.
still working the lumber job. Yeah, yeah. So I was a basement Betty at that point,
Oh
working from
my
home.
goodness.
Yep.
Yeah. And in January, we did the bridal show. I say we, my wife and I, and we had to come up with a name. I knew I wanted to do special event work. So that's where Creative Occasions came from, because I wanted to be a part of special occasions. So we did the bridal show. We started booking weddings. And I looked at my wife and I said, I think we have a business. So I did that for 5 more years from home. And then we found out that the shop that I'm in currently was going on the market. The owner was retiring, and my wife had enough of the 2, 3, and 4 a.m. Saturdays working and getting the events ready for the day. And we had
Sure.
2 small children at that time. She said, "You can do this. You need to take the leap." And so we purchased the shop, the building, and the business. And I've been here 26 years. So, yeah,
Congratulations. Wow.
thank you.
What a
Wow.
journey.
Thank
That's
you. It's a kind of a
incredible.
twisted path, but I think this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Were you ever in any of those moments fearful of making the change?
Oh, 100%. In my job with Georgia Pacific, I had full benefits, a company
Yeah,
car, 2 paychecks a month, plus a commission check, and walking
everything
away from all that with a
stability.
family. My wife works, she actually owns her own business as well. So, yes, I was scared half to death. In fact, the first probably 6 weeks of owning the shop, I went in the restroom here and threw up every afternoon.
Yeah,
It was, I lost weight, all those things that just from
yeah,
anxiety and stress. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
faith over fear. That's
But
what
I
I
found
keep.
the weight back.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, totally. Wow. So did you start with any employees or was it just you?
yeah, when I bought the shop, I bought the staff with the shop.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so that was a really interesting thing about really becoming a business owner for the first time is I had never managed a staff. In my
Yeah.
job with Georgia Pacific, I had worked with other people, but I had no one really directly report to me. That was an interesting and very challenging part of navigating those first couple of years and just kind of
Had
figuring
you
it out.
had you had in your previous job, did you have managers that seemed to be good role models for you, or did you have bad role models?
Oh, both.
Both.
Both. Yeah, I had some great managers who realized that we had a life outside of our work.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
those are the managers that I most gravitated toward because they understood that we had a sick kid and that's going to impact how I am at work today. And then we had some managers that were quite the
Just don't care.
opposite and
Yeah,
expected
yeah,
24/7 from us. And so,
yeah, yeah. So you took the good and the bad,
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
created your own. Wow. And then here you are now. Oh, so that's your journey, and it just elevated from there. But before we keep going, I have to talk about because Vonda is the timekeeper here, and she's going to hit me
I have
virtually
to
when
keep her on track because Lori's a
so
storyteller, and
many
I have
questions go.
two storytellers here
One of
now.
the things you do, one of the many things you do, is you have a YouTube channel, Creative Occasions and Events, but you have a segment that you do there that's called Blossoms in Bourbon, correct?
Correct. Yes, that's
It
right.
it is like my new favorite reality show. I love it. I love it. It
Good.
cracks me up. It's so good because you're a really good teacher and you're
Thank you.
funny and you don't even I don't think you're trying to be you're very entertaining.
Natural.
You've got a great tone of voice and you're just a natural. Tell me, was this your brainchild or were you drinking bourbon one night and after the third glass you're like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel? Because that's what I would
Well,
have
of course
done.
there was that. That was about 4 years ago. And honestly, I was about 63 years old at that time. So I was thinking about retirement and
Mm,
developing an exit strategy. And 2021 and 2022, both of those years, I had the opportunity to be a volunteer decorator at the White House.
Mhm.
mm.
And so, first of
I
all, just
remember that.
amazing
I remember
experience,
watching.
amazing.
Yes, incredible.
Back from both of those experiences, I really said to myself, I'm not done.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
around so many creative people, just such a very energetic atmosphere of team unity and building something beautiful together. So when I came back, it was like, okay, so what's my next thing going to look like? Vonda, you remember from back in the Teleflora days. I've always believed in education and how important that is to our industry, to the people that are in our industry. And so I thought, I know stuff. I've been around a minute. How can I convey that to other people? And so I started just checking out other YouTube channels that were flower education and tutorials.
Mhm.
And frankly, I didn't like most of them for a number of different reasons. It didn't feel true to me. So I knew that I wanted to do something that was more personal. And I thought, I want people to get to know who I am. And I like bourbon.
Right.
So the alliteration of Blossoms and Bourbon was beautiful. That just organically happened. So we decided, and I say we, I had a professional videographer who was doing those episodes.
Okay.
We chatted about it. And so we decided to incorporate not only a floral design, but also a bourbon tasting or a cocktail or something in the context of the video. And truthfully, I was hoping that would really just expand the audience. Certainly, I would
Yeah.
get the people who wanted to learn flower, but
Sure.
maybe I would also get a spouse who loves to drink bourbon, who was curious
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
hope or whatever. Yeah, that's how that happened.
So what was the most surprising thing about it though when it came out? Looking at it now, has there been like, wow, I didn't expect that to come out of this channel?
Oh, actually, many of those moments, because really, at first I thought people know me locally. I'll get a local audience, and people call the shop and go, "Oh, that was a really cute arrangement. I'd like to get one of those."
Mhm.
What I didn't expect was the comments from Southeast Asia and the comments from
Yeah.
the UK
Yeah.
and people really around the globe who stumbled onto the channel somehow, but then resonated with your comment, Lori. Many people have said you're such a good teacher. You have
Yeah.
a clear way about communicating processes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful to be able to share that.
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
You really do. You make it, I'm going to say this, and I've said it a million times on our podcast. You make it look easy. I know it's not easy because I've literally been standing next to Vonda and Julie Potler when they've attempted to teach me the simplest of recipes and I can't do it. So I know it's not easy, but you make it look, oh, look, you can do this, which brings me to my next question. Your audience, when you're speaking to them, you're talking like to just the average person sitting on their couch watching a YouTube video. You're not addressing like our particular industry. You're addressing the stay at home mom who's getting ready to have a bunko party or
Sure,
that
You
type of thing.
you kind of remind me of the
sure.
Jay Schwanke because that's
Hmm.
the audience is Jay Schwanke's audience. It's everyone. And sometimes he, for a while, was doing cocktails and flowers.
Oh,
So,
was he?
doing a mix. So when I've seen some
Yeah,
of yours, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's your personality. When it's about the everyday consumer, which I think is great because you're educating them, like you said, maybe on bourbon, but also on the flowers and how they can
sure,
put it together, like Lori
Yeah.
has mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Wanda, to that point, don't you think it's not as threatening or intimidating? Not
It's
threatening.
not
It's not as
intimidating.
intimidating.
Right.
So it's more of, oh, hey, I'll watch this. This
Yeah.
guy's not going to make me feel stupid.
Right.
But my question, if I'm going to play devil's advocate here just for a minute to
Okay.
both of you guys, you are going to have a certain part of our industry that may watch shop owners and go, "Ah, how dare you? How dare you, Marcus Frye, speak and teach others our secrets on how to design? Aren't you taking business away from yourself? You're going to lose customers when you do that."
Yeah,
Now respond.
I'll let
a
Mark
thousand
say because
percent.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, 1,000% no. In fact, what it does is it gains customers. My experience has been that people they may try that. The very first episode that we did was a grocery store bouquet. And I wanted to start with that one really to get at the people who I don't want to compete with grocery stores. That's not my market. But I know that there are lots of people that pick up flowers at the grocery store quickly and then they don't know what to do with them. They
Mhm.
stick them all in a vase. The stems are all gawky and tall, and it's just less than pleasing result, maybe. So I wanted to say, okay, look, if you like flowers and if you really want to be involved with flowers, here's some things that you can do. And so, really, honestly, what that's led to is we have people who come in here and they buy loose stems of flowers. Will I sell them that? Heck yeah, I'll sell them that. They buy supplies here because they don't have clear anchor tape in their toolbox at home or things like that. So, there has been a little bit of a ripple effect. I really don't think that it's taken business away. Um,
I I
And,
agree.
oh gosh, I don't want this to sound snotty, but I think if you're secure in what you're doing, you'll understand that. You'll understand that what you're doing is you're furthering the industry. Just like Martha Stewart did, she furthered people's love of flowers. And so this can work in that same way, I
I
hope.
totally agree. I totally agree, Mark. I think that some designers try to protect their knowledge, and I'm like, you know what, share it. And
Yeah,
what I always found is that when you share it and they try it, sometimes they bring it back to you and, man, gosh, Mark, that is hard work. I didn't really know that doing a flower design was that hard. It looks easy, like Gloria said, it looks so easy, but now they're going to be willing to pay you to do something and order from you because they can't do it.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Can
Case in point, we did an arrangement this morning. It's a garden week here. And this great customer reached out to us and said the lady that was supposed to do the arrangement for this foyer in this house had a death in the family. She had to leave. And the bylaws say that we can bring in a professional in that case. So she called 2 days ago and said, I'm going to need this really fabulous arrangement. So honestly, she came and picked this morning, picked the arrangement up. She was blown away with it. She loved it. She said, it's perfect for this home. That was a huge order. Not only is that a huge order, but the ripple effect of now having that with my business cards and my name for every person that walks through that house at Garden Club. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yep. I want to give you guys an example that happened here from a customer standpoint that watches you guys and thinks I can do. Recently was administrative assistance day, right?
Mm-hmm.
When this launches, it will have passed. So I will go to my local trader to go shopping all the time. And every once in a while, I will pick up, I don't know, last time I was there, I picked up just some tulips, brought them home, threw them in the vase. So admin week, my husband, of course, texts me Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Oh, cuss word. It's admin day. I'm like, yes, it is. I told you. And he's like, I'm the only one in the office. What do I do? I was like, you need to get supplies. He's like, should I just go to the whole conversation? If I go get some, can you make something? I write back, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The only things I can make remain in our home where no one else can see them. I
Sure.
am not comfortable making anything for anyone. So I called. I said, but I can order some for you and you can go pick them up because he had to go out and get a card anyway. And I was like, you're probably not going to get delivery. Anyway, that's what we did. That's
There
what
you
we
go. Good for you, Lori.
Yeah.
did. And
Know your limitations.
I know my limitations. But my point is, I think the majority of us do. I know if I'm going to make something and play flowers around the house, and I'm going to watch Mark or I'm going to watch Yvonne's videos and pretend, but I'm not dumb enough to think I'm going to create a big arrangement for an admin and put my name on it. Hell no. Anyway, so I
I
just
have
kind
a
of
funny
wanted.
story about that with a bride. She and her mom came in for a meeting, and the mom said to me in the very beginning, she said, I need your help. She wants to do the flowers herself.
Oh,
And she said, I'm about to freak out. So we
whew.
had this conversation. I did a proposal. I got a check for a retainer. The mom is all excited about me being on board. The thing that really tipped the scales, I think, was when they were talking about the arrangements. And she said, we just aren't sure about quantities and how this is going to achieve the look of the thing that we found on Pinterest, of course. And I said, you know what I'd suggest? Go to the grocery store, go to Trader Joe's, buy some stuff and try it. Put one together right now before you get into wedding week. See what it's like. Are you comfortable with replicating that 15 times plus bouquets plus whatever else? And that was the thing that tipped the scale. So she immediately went, "Oh God, no, I'm not handling that."
Awful. It's
So
awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's awful.
And that's the type of thing you have to make the bride aware of because oftentimes they do. They're like, oh, my bridesmaids and I are going to do this. And then you, okay, try it or say to them, do you know how long it's going to take? My staff, we can do this many per hour. What we found that an amateur can do it maybe one in an hour. Do you have 15 hours that you have that
yeah,
you can put into this? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, no way, no
Yeah.
way.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
the awareness. And that's what you did. And I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Speaking of brides, that's what we brought you on here for. Wedding talk, right? One of the reasons. One of the reasons. So, something you've been doing lately on your social media, because I guess I've been stalking you. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's the word we'll use.
I'm
You've
flattered.
been
I'm
giving,
flattered.
okay, good. Good. I'm glad. Stalking in a good way, right?
That's right.
Right.
You've been giving wedding tips to brides lately, little tips, and you're on TikTok, Instagram, all of the things. But I asked you to flip it because our audience are mostly florists. And I love your tips you've been giving to brides. I think they're really good. I want to talk about some wedding tips for 2026, 27, 28, 29, 30. What are some tips that you think florists right now, especially with the economy, what are some things you advice you could give them? Because, like you said, you started out as an event only, so you've been around the block a time or two with probably all size weddings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
What
first
do
of
you
all,
see?
I just think it's important to be open-minded. We're still booking clients with five-figure budgets for wedding flowers. We're also booking clients with $500 budgets for wedding flowers. And so I think it's important not to shut down the conversation before it even begins. The way that we've done that in our shop is that we have a minimum for a full delivery and setup. So if you want me and my staff on site for the day of your wedding, there's a minimum charge for that.
Okay,
But if you need a bouquet and some boutonnieres and a centerpiece, then you're welcome to come by the shop and pick that up. I don't know. My hope is that makes us more appealing to a broader audience. While
sure.
I'd love to focus on those high end weddings and getting those, it is challenging in this environment. We still are getting some great clients who are very design heavy focused in their planning. And that's great because those are the clients that expect to spend some coin. But by the same token, I had a conversation with a bride the other day. She wanted to buy all of her own bud vases to create those linear bud vase things on farm tables. And so I just a little conversation. All right, let's just, they're this much on Amazon. What are you going to do with 180 bud vases afterwards? And how much time is it going to take you? That's sort of that same conversation we had about the other bride. So I think just keeping an open mind, a large part of what I do in every bridal meeting is education. Just like we talked about, Vonda, with you have to let them know what it is that goes into what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Most
Yeah.
people don't have any understanding. So if you're able to communicate that to the client, I think that not only makes you look like more of a professional, but it also may just garner you some business too.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of your videos I thought was really interesting when you were talking to brides and you encourage them to hire a planner or at least a partial planner, like some type of person that can help you organize. For a florist, as a florist, do you prefer working with the event planner as opposed to the bride? Is it easier?
100%.
Really?
100% for me it is. Yes. And what I find is that those planners then become great referral partners
Yeah.
because the planner gets the client first. And then the planner's going, okay, I see what you're trying to achieve. I think you should talk to Mark. I
Okay.
think Mark is the guy who can help you with that. Um, so that's part of the reason I said that. The other part is, I have two adult children who are now married. When they
Hmm.
both got engaged, I said to them, hire a planner. I don't care
Yeah.
who you get,
Yeah.
but hire somebody because I don't want to be that person. I want to be
Good.
dad that day. It comes at a cost, but then it allows the bride and her family to be present and to just so I think professionally, for me as a floral designer, that's important to have the client engaged in the moment, not worrying about whether or not the tablecloths showed up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that all depends on the size of the wedding, right? Because the smaller, more intimate weddings, they don't need a planner. But when you're talking a
Yeah.
big wedding, you definitely need that
Yeah.
advocate for you and for the bride, basically, the two of them
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even for small ones, Vonda, I find that somebody who's just the point person for the day, just on
Yeah.
site, kind
Yeah.
of developing a timeline and running the show for the day is really helpful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Are you seeing trends right now? In one of the ones I watched, you were doing the wildflower, which was very cool. It actually reminded me of parts of Ellie Lefever's wedding in Rome, of the moss you were using. And I loved what you were doing with that one on your YouTube channel. Are you seeing that going into 2026, 27,
Yeah,
or?
definitely that whole wildflower look is
Yeah.
really being asked for a lot. I'm so excited about that because it allows us to access local farms. And here in Southwest Virginia, we have within easy driving distance, probably 5 or 6 farms
Yeah.
that we can access product from. So that's just a really beautiful thing. There is an organization that has formed that's called the Blue Ridge Flower Exchange, and they get product from all those farms into a central location. You can order from any of the farms, then they'll deliver your order to your shop. So
Wow.
it's like all worlds for that kind of thing.
That's wow.
I'm also loving the fact that there's color back in weddings. I think
Yes.
if I had to do another all white wedding, I was going to scream.
Yes.
And when Pantone came out with the color this year, what was it? Cloudy something. It was a white.
It
And
was
then I
white.
saw
It
some
It
other
was
was
people
white.
going,
white.
yes,
It's
yeah,
like
they could call it whatever, right? But it was still
Yeah,
white.
it's white.
you're a few years
Yeah.
behind. That's what we all said. It's wait a minute. That was many
Oh,
years
thank
ago,
you.
It's
right?
just white.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some other florists who were doing posts with Pantone. Oh, great inspiration for weddings this year, all white. I said, sister, we've been doing all white for 10 years. So,
Yes.
Exactly. No way.
so
Yeah.
I'm delighted.
Color's
And
good.
Wanda, I'm glad you got the message about the background color for the call today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
But
both
real
have the same color. I'm still out of the loop.
good.
My mouse
so
pad matches.
your shirt kind of matches. It's
My shirt.
You bring it
yeah,
in between. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
yeah.
That's
So
right.
I
But
can't
I
have
love
that
the fact
color
that there's
wall.
color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Same.
Agree. I love that. Where do you see, if you were to like look at the globe of florists that do wedding, where do you see that there's potential that florists are leaving money on the table when it comes to weddings? Not that we're trying to nickel and dime every person getting married. I'm not saying that, but where are there opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the fact that we add on linens to a lot of our packages. So
Mm.
for me, that's a nice little adder that is a 15, 20% on top of whatever the linen order is. And then frankly, I'm a little bit OCD, so I love the fact that when I arrive, I can put the tablecloths on, I can set my centerpiece and my candles, and I can do what I've been paid to do. If somebody
Mm.
else is doing those, then I often have to wait. And so
We don't like to
that
wait.
appeals to
No.
that aspect of me. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Especially in July. But so I like that aspect of it. I will also say that it seems like there's always a trigger point with some brides, like bridesmaids bouquet pricing and centerpiece pricing. They seem to be very sensitive about that for some reason. They don't
Mm.
ask a lot about their own bouquet pricing, which is good. They shouldn't. But in my 30 years, I don't think I've ever had anybody question my delivery and setup fee. And
It's
I have been told my accountant that I might be a little aggressive when it comes to that. But honestly, if I take into account the mileage, the vehicle wear and tear, how many
yeah.
people I have, how long we're going to be there, the fact that we have to go back and pick up rentals, I start with a certain percentage and then start adding to that. And I have yet to have somebody question that.
It's really
So I
good to
find
hear
that that's
that.
an area where you
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's an area that you can slide a little bit more to your bottom line without doing anything
Well,
really.
or make something because that's one area that I think you and I all both agree. People don't even think of that. They're like, "Oh, I'll charge $100 for delivery and stuff." It's like you, how much time, how much vehicle, how many people, how much per hour, and are you going back?
Yeah,
You are doing it the right way, and maybe you're getting a little extra, but I'll bet not much. You're covering your cost plus making what you need to. You're a business owner.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely. And
Wow.
when you shell out the pay for those people that have been helping you that day, you can pretty quickly see how close to being correct you were when you did the calculation. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It's a matter of trying to cover your cost.
Yeah. That's really a great point. I love that.
Last question about weddings, and we'll get there. Do you think your couples you're meeting with now, are they more design driven, or are you finding they're more budget conscious? Like when the meetings, when you have the consults, which ones are you finding now?
I'm going to lump them into two categories. The couples that are planning on their own and paying for most of the wedding expenses are budget driven. The couples that come in with mommy and daddy's checkbook are design.
Mm.
They want the Pinterest wedding.
For
Yeah.
yeah, and for obvious reasons. Honestly, we had a scenario, we didn't even get this wedding contract, but the proposal was $35,000 for flowers, which is a lot. I think
Mhm.
in anybody's book, and we're in Southwest Virginia, that's a big
Yeah.
number here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we didn't get it, but the bride was freaking out. Her father gave her permission. He said, "This is what you want. You can have that." And they had booked this incredibly expensive venue, and so, yeah, I think it's very tough to know. Again, keep an open mind as you start the conversation with a client, a potential client,
Yeah.
about what direction it's going to take, because you never know.
Yeah.
Just listen first, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Last question. What is something you've had to unlearn in this last 35 years as a business owner?
Oh, control. um,
Oh,
yeah,
look at Wanda going.
Yep.
control.
That's
Oh.
right.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
I said, elaborate, you guys.
I mean, I already alluded to the fact that when I got a shop, it was the first time I'd had a staff. Right.
Yeah.
So I think for the first 10 years or something, I just micromanaged everything. I tried to do everything. But even at that point, I was trying to do bookkeeping and payroll, and I was the guy. I was just, and also
Yeah.
trying to save a little money. I thought, I don't need a bookkeeper. I can do this. That was just a huge mistake. It was huge. It ended up costing me a lot more than it would have ever cost me to have a bookkeeper.
Mm.
So that was important for me to figure out that things I'm not good at, I can pass off to somebody else. It will be handled. It will be handled well.
Yeah.
I can go on a vacation with my family and my shop will still run and deliveries are made. And it was incredibly hard,
Yeah.
especially in the early years when I had mortgages and all those, the pressures of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Are you ready?
I think
Roses
so.
or roses or ranunculus?
Oh, ranunculus.
A big install or an intimate wedding?
Intimate wedding.
Classic white wedding or a full color moment?
Oh, let me think about that one. Full color.
Yeah, right. We already know.
Knew that one.
Early
Yeah.
morning design session or late night creative burst?
Oh, late night. Yeah, late night all the time.
And
Mm.
last one, bourbon neat or on the rocks?
Oh, neat.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, Mark,
Look, he's got his
there you
bourbon.
go.
No
You
ice.
got it. Will you come back again? We need another 45-minute session.
Of course. I'd be
Well,
happy to. Thank you. This has been so much fun.